island-wide voting. How's it been for you so far? Any issues? And is this the future?
And the first answer will be given by Charles Bottom.
Well, I have met
How have I found it? Oh, it's been great fun. It's repeating yourself over and over and over again every single day. I think I did support island-wide voting. I voted for it myself, but the problem is it's the voters. It's the voters that have got the problem. They can't identify all the different. They can't. Yeah, I know, but no one wants it back. As everyone I've spoken to, they don't want it back, and I think it's going to change. But it's like like the TV show The Apprentice. It's like a challenge, but instead of going out selling ice cream, you've got to go out and sell yourself, and it's tough, especially when you're doing it over 4 weeks and not just one day. It's like these hustings. Normally it's only one hustings. We've got 5 of these, and they're just so mentally draining. Every time you've got to come here, and it's the nerves and what questions you're going to get asked. But it's tough. It's doable for the candidates, but it's tougher for the voters. That's for sure.
Okay. Next candidate, Matt Spanish.
Yeah,
my question is to do with education. Fortunately, it's not the school model. It's more to do with the lack of teachers on the island. And it appears to me that this goes on year after year and it's not being addressed. So I'd like to know if these deputies were elected, what they would do to fix the lack of teachers on the island and give our children a proper education.
Thank you. The first answer will be given.
I think Jenny and Barry have probably given you better answers than I will. That it's down to the recruitment process and the licences. But I've had friends that were staff, for instance, at grammar school, and they left. They love the way of life here. They do like it here, but it's just there's no security here, and especially with what's going on at the moment, until that's sorted out, we're probably still going to struggle. But I don't think that we can fill it with local people coming back because we don't have the labour resource for that to do it all, especially when that's an idea for nurses as well. It's a, like Barry said, it's a general key worker problem here.
Next candidate, Matt Pellis.
About transport, I know some of you mentioned, such as Chris in his manifesto, about motorcycles, but I'm happy for this to be about public transport, the airport, or anything else that you want to bring up about my needs.
Thank you. Question about transport. First answer to be given by Jenny Tasker.
Regarding traffic, I think what we've done with subsidising e-cycles is good, but unless you've got the money to spend on an e-cycle in the first place, you don't get to enjoy that subsidy. I think maybe we could even look at giving out free bikes to children, because I mean, what you'd spend on a subsidy on an e-cycle, you'd probably get a couple of normal bikes for that, and you could potentially get more kids out on the roads. Then what we can do is look at, I used to live in Gwell Lane, which goes on to Amherst Road. Certain times of the day, that road is one way. It's not one way completely all the time. So we could do that in roads around schools where peak times, just like Amherst, we turn those roads into one ways. I'm just trying to answer the question here with some more, but I think that'll do.
Okay.
I'm from San Pierre du Bois. I've got a question about planning in the States and some of the rather, I think, controversial planning decisions over the past year. And I'm going to give an example of one, which is the sale of the tourist office. And a proposal was put forward by Art for Guernsey to set up a gallery. And anybody who has been to see the exhibition this week at Beausejour will know that it's absolutely amazing. It is world class. It's a charitable organisation. As far as I know, it does not look for money from the States. They do art education in the prison. They have excellent...
Could we have a question?
The question is, what's going to be done to ensure that people like that, who put forward applications for estates buildings that will benefit the community, have a fair crack of the whip rather than having something sold as an investment?
Okay. First answer to LeBron.
As an outsider who's uneducated on the issues there, it does seem a bit odd what's happening with some of the properties. It feels like some of them are just being harvested for their value. I mean, there might be better buildings to have a gallery in, but is there any better placed to be right there where the cruise liners are coming in? I mean, that would have enhanced the area. I agree, it was a brilliant idea. And now we're going to have a boutique hotel. It's like the people that are thinking of that idea have never walked through there on a Saturday night. It's just a really bad idea. But yeah, and the rationalisation of the state's properties is in charge. There's a policeman in charge of it. It's really, it doesn't make sense to me, and I can't add any value to that at all. Sorry.
Next candidate, Matt.
Jane Morshead, Cattell. We're concerned about how much everything costs. Do the candidates think we need 38 deputies?
First answer we give candidate Ross LeBrun.
Unfortunately, you're asking turkeys to vote for Christmas there, but what's important to me is that we've got a wide range of people in there, and I don't think you risk not getting that if you reduce it down. What Jeremy said about non-states board members, there's some very, very capable people that stand for that, and I think that's a good idea, that we could actually increase that somehow to assist the deputies. But yeah, the problem is, I think if you reduce it, you risk losing the representation, really.
Thank you. Next candidate, Matt.
If the education review comes back with a 2 sites, 1 school model solution as being the optimum or the best, the preferable one, would each of the candidates support it?
First answer.
Still keen.
What happens if we don't? What happens then? How many more years will it go on? How many kids are stuck in the system now, and they're never going to get the benefit of that decision? Would you go up to the parents' faces and tell them, if that was the preferred model, would you be happy to be the one to tell the parents, no, it's not happening, you're staying there longer? At some point, people have got to give and make concessions somewhere. No one's going to have the perfect model because everyone wants different things. There's still people that want selection back, and I think this is partly to do with that, people trying to claw it back. But I mean, I'm not going to tell you lies and say, yeah, I'm going to go for the 3-school model, because there's 3 of those anyway, so which one? Whatever comes to this review, we have to bite the bullet and get on with it, otherwise we're just, all this talk of flip-flopping and indecision, we're just talking out of our backsides if we don't get on with it.
Next candidate, Matt.
Matthew Talbot, Carlton, Martin. Internet speed. I read that Jersey's 2nd fastest in the world and Guernsey 48th. How do we retain our businesses or encourage new business to come in? And there should be something about that.
The first answer from Jeremy Smithies. LeBrun.
Well, I haven't got any notes with me on this, but I can give you a little bit of practical information. I used to work for Guernsey Electricity in the roads for 9 years as a jointer. I actually also became a fibre optic jointer. The amount of money that we'd need to plough in and the disruption it would cause to connect every home to fibre optics would be, I don't think people realise how much disruption it would cause and how much it would cost. To do it in a realistic time frame, I heard someone mention 5 years to get 20,000 properties on. That would be 11 properties a day, 7 days a week. That's just unrealistic. So I mean, Jersey owned JT, the government owned JT, so it's not easy, but they're investing in their own commercial trading asset, whereas we would be giving taxpayers' money away to a private business. So it's not just as easy as saying that that's what we should do, because there's a lot of other things going on behind it.
We've just been through a massive economic shock. I'd be interested in the panel's views on the Guernsey economy. It'd be useful to include in your answers tax raising like GST or views on 0-10, borrowing and spending.
First answer will be given by Ross LeBrun.
Well, my sort of ethos would be to help local businesses to trade better, enable them, give them what they need to trade better, whether it's free business training, relaxation of some planning rules, anything. We need to invest in what we've got on offer here, in entrepreneurs here, so that people have got a reason to get on a plane once everything's up and running again. Maybe look at the deep water berth and for the cruise industry, and so we can have a better conventional ferry for better links to England and France. we could, what was I going to say? Yeah, we could look at Guernsey becoming a port that you can actually leave on a cruise. So people could come here for a holiday for a couple of days before they actually get on a cruise. I've got loads of ideas on my website. If I was to start now, I'd only run out of time. But yeah, it would be to invest in small local businesses and listen to them.
Next kind of Matt Barrett. Gentleman back there, I think, in your hand.
Just wondering what the vision is on sort of like the retail and the hospitality sort of trade, town, bridge, and offices as well. There's quite a lot of properties now coming up to let. There's obviously got another 6 months at least of COVID to go yet. Then it's going to take a few more months to come out back of that at least. There's been probably some more redundancies as well on Ireland. And we've also then got chain shops. They're obviously from the UK. Quite a few of those are going to be.
So we have your question, please.
So that's my question. What are you going to do?
Right, okay. First one to be made.
The problem is it's the same as houses. It's just the prices. After lockdown, a commercial estate agent went in the media and said that they were getting lots of inquiries about empty properties in town. I went and had a look online, and everything was price on application, apart from one place in Fountain Street, tiny little shop that was £15,000 a year. And if you're going to start a small business up, £15,000 a year is just not realistic. So we need to incentivise landlords actually filling the properties up. What we could have, Melanie touched on it, is have a more artisanal town where we've got local producers, local food producers selling their stuff. You walk through town now, it's almost like you could be in any town in the UK. There's so many chains there, so we're losing our identity in there. And we need to get that back, and we need to be clever about it somehow.
Thank you. Ron?
Yeah, inert waste, the candidate earlier said it's a good resource, but you don't throw a good resource in a hole. I've said to the guy that runs the waste for the States that it's poor that we've been throwing this resource in a hole for over 20 years. This is part of what I do for a living. What we dump in a hole, it could be graded, separated, crushed, recycled and reused. There's a huge area of land called Belgrave Vinery that could be raised with using this stuff to enable it to actually be used in the future, because anything we do there is going to need to be raised because the levels are so low. So there's a massive area there that we could be actually putting this stuff in and reusing it elsewhere. With regards to the household waste, there's probably a way we could reuse the plastic, so we're saving on the cost of getting rid of that. We could be repurposing that into garden furniture or road signs, anything that we need here.
Let's go to Matt Valley.